Welcome back to excuse me. Hey y'all, welcome back to another review of Life of Chester for Beyond the Gate, September 10th, 2025. First things first, let me know your thoughts on today's new episode down below. What did y'all think? What was your favorite moment, or what moment did y'all enjoy the most of this episode? For me, Ted telling the Duprees and Bill off, because what the world going on? You don't run around. I mean, he said the way he told them off, I liked it. I enjoyed that whole little scene because yeah, what they thought this was. Bill over here, Bill, you should have. I about to say should have. I don't combine shit and listen up. Yeah, look, you should stayed out of it over here placing money on the table and stuff. What the word going on? But okay, hold on. Y'all know, like I always, I'm gonna give y'all a quick summary, then we're gonna dive into the review. So, okay, on today's new episode, Ted ended up telling the Duprees and Bill off, and like I said, I gotta say, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. But yeah, he basically told them how they paint him with the same brush that they paint Bill with. He was like, he made one mistake. But I was like, wait a minute, I gotta pause. Because didn't he say he slept with her more than once? He slept with Leslie more than once. Now, Bill cheated more than once, too. I said, y'all in the same boat, look like, except he ain't got no child that we know of. He ain't got no child that we know of. He brought up the fact that he ended up marrying the woman he had cheated on Danny with and divorcing Danny for that woman, moving her in the same place. I said, look, he read him. Look, Bill wanted to handle him. Bill's so tall. He's so tall. But yeah, look, he was telling Ted to watch himself or whatever. I said, they about to go at it. They about to go at it. I wonder if they're going to be cool after this. I said, dog, see, Bill should have stayed out of it. You shouldn't have said nothing. You should have said nothing. You running around cheating too. What the world? But yeah, like I said, he was like, y'all pay me with the same brush that they pay Bill with or whatever. And after he told everybody off or whatever and left, Nicole was like, it's not funny. And the way she was walking off, I'm thinking she about to go after him, say something to him, something like that. I'm like, that's right, go get your man, girl, go get your man. She did not. She did not go get him. She just told them that maybe they was too hard on him and stuff like that, and that he had valid points. I said, exactly, Bill, just the same. And what got me also, and I forgot to mention this, Danny is getting a little too comfortable. Then she told me, so she'll never make that mistake again, getting closer or trusting Bill and stuff. I said, could have fooled me. She done walked in. She came from over there seeing, what they say? She came in from seeing her daughter, seeing Chelsea and stuff, and she was just telling them about Chelsea and how she blaming herself. She don't sit next to Bill, put her hand on his on his leg, and everybody just kept looking at each other. I said, tell her. I said, y'all gonna have to break it to her gently. I mean, I take the bet. Y'all can't tell Danny nothing. Y'all cannot tell her nothing. Then I think Bill noticed how they was noticing her just leaning on him and stuff like that. He was like, well, I better get her on to Haley and stuff like that. She was like, I'll walk you out. Look, how we get here? We ain't supposed to be talking about that yet. But yeah, let's see. Martin and Smitty ended up hooking up, and Martin thought he had it. He thought he had it made. He was like, he about to take his stuff up to the bedroom. Smitty said, you thought. Smitty said, you thought. He was like, despite what happened up there, I still don't trust you because you lied for so many years. I was like, all right, now they gonna be brought somebody new on the show. They gonna be brought somebody new on the show. And once again, y'all know I always tell y'all, if y'all listen to my reviews, I was like, you can't commit the crime or do stuff to people and then tell them when they should forgive you. But at the same time, you can't get mad if they decide, you know what, since you won't forgive me, I might as well just move on, because at some point they got to. Time don't stay still even if you do. Time does not stay still even if you do. But yeah, he thought he had it made. He over here getting his things up off the couch and stuff. He like, what are you doing? And I was like, I was like, at some point now, either you forgive him and let him fully back in, or y'all just gonna need to get a divorce just like his parents. Because first they were just talking about that or whatever. But yeah, Smitty still don't trust him. Chelsea continued to confront Allison. She ends up blaming herself for Allison's crazy self. Allison's still crazier than ever. She thought that Naomi was coming to represent her. The way they was talking, I don't think we seen the last of that crazy girl. I definitely don't. And I'm assuming, because they were saying how her marriage is not legal and stuff like that because she done held the girl against her wishes and stuff. But I was like, some type of way I feel like they gonna make it seem like they actually are married. I say some type of way she gonna come back. It's definitely gonna be some type of way. I can see it now. But yeah, that was the summary. I think I covered everything. They ain't really show too much on today's episode, but yeah, I liked it. Out of everything or whatever, Ted telling them off. And he basically said the same thing Bill said, how they treat people like they are outsider. The same thing Leslie and them said. Even the crazy girl was like, ain't that what you the priest do? Basically, look out for your own. I said, I said, look, everybody talking about the freeze, and I think they got more skeletons in the closet. I definitely do. But okay, let's start. Let me know down below what y'all thought of the episode. So first of all, Smitty and Martin was just talking about Joey and how, because Martin was like, maybe, he'll chalk it up as, a good deed. I said, hey, you meant the same. Like, he really is over here not knowing what's what about Joey, him and his sister. They don't shielded them or something, because what the world? First it was Cat, don't know who Joey is. And now Martin, he know firsthand who Joey is, but he apparently don't. He already talking about some maybe, he won't want anything. Smitty was like, come on now. Joey will want something. He gonna come to collect or whatever. And Martin was just saying, they'll deal with it when they deal with it if it comes to them. We might as well just get them out the way. I already said how they ended up kissing, then they went upstairs and did the do or whatever. So he came back down. Martin came back downstairs, gathered his things and stuff. Smitty was like, what are you doing? He was like, I'm getting my things or whatever. He going to the bedroom, going back to his bedroom or whatever. He's like, no, you're not. He's like, basically, he don't trust him still. He still don't trust him or whatever. And he don't know. He don't want to give the kids the wrong impression. I said, don't worry about it. They going back over there with their mama soon enough. I said, I can see where this is going. I said, see where this is going. But yeah, I said, you thought, I said, you ain't do it. I said, you ain't do a good job. I was like, he told you still sleeping on the couch. But yeah, what else? Nicole and Ted. Nicole ends up telling Ted that she doesn't owe him anything. It's good that he helped and stuff like that. But, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean that all's forgiven or anything like that. So they start going back and forth. The family just back there being quiet and stuff like that. Except Danny. Danny kept backing up her sister. So then Bill came in. He was like, he was hearing everything. So he decided to place a bet or whatever on it. So then the rest of the family started doing the same. Basically, everybody bet up on Nicole. Everybody bet on Nicole, basically, that she wasn't backing down. She didn't. So he took out $100 and put his on there. So then he was like, you know what? Forget it. Forget this family. Forget everything or whatever. I made one mistake and you over here holding it against me and stuff like that. Despite the decades that, he been a good father. He been a good husband or whatever. He ain't did nothing like that since then. And she still, basically, they all acting like they holier than thou. Then Bill over here talking about some calm down or whatever. It's not that serious or whatever. He was like, forget you, Bill. Forget you, Bill. No, he was like, y'all over here. He's like, since you want to sit up here and interfere, Bill, you should have stayed quiet, Bill. You should stay quiet. Hold on. He's like, you should stay quiet, Bill. Now I'm about to get up on you. So he was like, y'all paint me with the same brush y'all paint Bill with, and we ain't nothing alike. I made one mistake. Meanwhile, Bill done married Haley, his daughter best friend. He done moved her in to the place and rubbing it in y'all face, making a fool out of all y'all. And y'all sitting up here eating cookies and stuff with this man. I said, exactly. I said, he ain't lying though. Look, Nicole was back there like she was holding it together and stuff, like tears was in her eyes. She was trying to stop herself from crying and stuff. So he's like, screw it. And he was like, tell Chelsea, she need anything. He's not forget that. Tell her, I tell her myself that she, no matter what I messed up. Hold on. He was like, tell Chelsea or whatever. He was trying to say, with everything that's going on, if she need anything to contact him and he got her. But he's like, I tell her myself that despite what the court may say, she will forever be my niece or whatever. And he left. And Nicole, I think Bill was the one who said something. And Nicole was like, it's not funny. So she started walking. I'm thinking she about to go after him, just telling him, she's sorry or whatever. Maybe just let him down gently again or something. No, she was like, maybe they was too hard on him and stuff like that. And that he had valid points. And then they was talking about Bill. Bill was like, you talking about me, huh? And they was talking about that. Then next thing you know, Danny came in talking about Chelsea and how she's blaming herself. They started talking about that. She done got real comfortable sitting next to Bill, put her hand on his leg, and everybody just looking at each other and stuff. And after they had left, because she said she wanted to walk Bill out, Anita was the one who said something about the last thing they need is Danny getting hung up on Bill again. Or whatever. I said, right. I said, that ain't your husband no more. Get your hand off that man's leg. I don't know if I said that right. But yeah, so then he was like, Haley probably looking for him. He got to get home or something, he said. So she was like, I'll walk you out. So they got to the door. He ends up revealing that Naomi confronted him about, taking advantage of her and stuff like that. And she was like, don't worry, that'll never happen again. So she ends up walking off or whatever. And he was just looking. And I said, he want that old thing back. He want that old thing back. Hold on. But yeah, I was like, I said, Next storyline they need to go on wrap up is the Haley situation. Come on now, it's about that time. That's the next one. Then after that, Smitty and Martin. It was another one. What was the other one, y'all? Was it Leslie going to jail? I don't think Leslie going to jail no time soon, y'all. To be honest, I think it's over with. I think that's over with. But yeah, what else? Let's see. I got to go back. I already said Chelsea continued to confront Allison. Allison ends up saying that she gave Chelsea clout and her numbers doing better and stuff like that. And just steady over here making it seem like it's Chelsea's fault. So Chelsea started blaming herself, saying that she must have led Allison on. Madison was by her side trying to convince her that's not what happened. And Chelsea was also just reassuring Madison that she didn't hook up with Allison. She'll never do that, stuff like that. Was that the last thing with them? Did I say Martin doesn't want Smitty to divorce him or anything like that? I think we pretty much covered everybody except Derek now. I think they're going to be the last people. Let me make sure. Let me scan these notes. Chelsea, let's Madison know she didn't hook up. Smitty don't trust Martin. Anita said, yeah. What's the... Oh, Shanice, Ashley, Derek. Look like that's the last thing, y'all. Ashley and Shanice was in there talking to Derek and stuff like that, just checking on him, seeing if he feel anything or anything. He didn't at first. Now, Ashley, she fell on his leg or whatever, and he made a face on like he's starting to feel again. But then after everybody left, he started trying to move his legs, and he couldn't. So then he started hitting himself at the end of the episode. He started hitting himself, and the face he made, it kind of indicated that he could feel again, or he's starting to feel again. Or he's starting to feel again or whatever. What else? Let's see. I think the conversation between Shanice and Ashley. Shanice basically said before all this happened, she told Derek basically she deserves to be the main character. She deserves to be the only one. She ain't trying to be nobody backup plan. That Ashley and Derek been like a seesaw, on again, off again, stuff like that, and they need to figure this out. And I said exactly. She want Andre over here. I said everybody, they ain't been showing too many people this week. But maybe now that the whole Chelsea storyline is over, they can focus on the next thing. Yeah, Shanice was just saying, like, she wanted to be the main person. She don't deserve to be nobody backup plan, basically. And I said, right on, girl. Exactly, girl. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, what else? And then they was talking, she told her how she fell on his legs or whatever, and she apologized, and basically it was awkward. But like I said, they showed Derek in the bed, and he was hitting himself, and then next thing you know, he made a face like he felt that. And the spoilers once again said how he had a secret. I'm assuming that he could feel again. At first, before this episode, I thought that the secret was going to be that he tried to hurt himself so he could get Ashley back. That's what I thought it was going to be. But so far, no, that's not it. But yeah, I think that's everything, y'all. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces, have a great rest of the day and be safe.